welcome my dear friends and students. In today's video, I am going to explain the application of Bernoulli's equation. The first application we have to discuss here as a speed of efflux. Now this speed of efflux can also be considered as a Torsell's theorem. Now here what we have to do when we consider a fluid, that is the liquid, which is taken in an open container of a very large area of cross section, and when this fluid that is coming out from a hole having very small area of cross section, then we have to find the velocity of the fluid which is coming out from that small hole. Now here we can draw the figure like this also, and we can draw the figure like this which is given in our textbook. Now this hole may be present at side or at the bottom. Now in textbook, here the open tank is considered, small hole is given at the bottom. The area of cross section of upper end, that is which is greater, that is considered as A1. The area of small hole which is at the bottom, that is considered as a A2. Now here the velocity with which this fluid fall down, that is taken as a V1, and the velocity with which that fluid is coming out from that small hole, that is taken as a V2, and we have to find that velocity. So that's why in a speed of efflux we have to just find the velocity of a fluid which is coming out from the hole of very small area cross section. Now we have to find that value as V equal to under root of twice GH, which is similar to that of the velocity of a body which is falling freely. When we consider a particular body at particular height, and when that body is at rest, its initial velocity is 0. When that body starts falling in downward direction, then we can find the velocity when that body hit the ground by using this equation, that is V square equal to U square plus twice AS. As the body initially at rest, therefore U equal to 0. So therefore this equation reduces to V square equal to twice simply AS. Put the value A equal to, that body falls only because of acceleration due to gravity. So put A equal to G and S equal to H, as both are acting in downward direction. So if we take negative sign, that become positive. So displacement equal to height, and A equal to G, V square equal to twice GH. Therefore V equal to under root of twice GH. So that's why right here the speed of efflux from an open tank is given by the formula which is identical to that of the freely falling body, that is V equal to under root of twice GH. This concept is given by Torsell's. That's why it is called as Torsell's theorem. Efflux means flow of a fluid which is coming out. That is the meaning of efflux. Now here, in order to find this formula, V equal to under root of twice GH. Now let us consider this figure. We just consider one container in which liquid is taken. That's why right here the first point, consider a liquid of density rho. Whichever the liquid that is taken, its density is rho. Then that liquid is taken in a tank whose area of cross section that is greater. So that's why right here tank of larger area of cross section A1. We consider the area of cross section at the top, which is considered as a A1, and having very small area of cross section A2 at the place from where that fluid is given out, that fluid is coming out to the again atmosphere. So the area of that small hole is considered as a A2, and this A2 is very small as compared to the A1. Now let us consider the velocity of the fluid at the two places, that is at the top position and at the hole from which that fluid or liquid is coming out. So V1 and V2 be the speed of liquid at A1 and A2, means where the area of cross section at the top and where the area of cross section A2 at a small hole. Now you have to keep in mind this condition while deriving this formula. That is the top, which is obviously exposed to the atmosphere. But this point where we have to determine the velocity, that point also exposed to the atmosphere. So that's why I write here as inlet and outlet, where we consider here the liquid from any other source, that is the inlet, and from where the liquid is move out, that is the outlet. So as inlet and outlet are exposed to the atmosphere, therefore pressure at that 2 points, I draw here the one point as A here and the other point, this point, where we have to consider that point is also exposed to the atmosphere, and here we consider this point B is at what depth from the upper point, that is at a depth h. Now if we consider h is the height of that point from where the fluid is coming out from the top. We have already shown this height in a figure. Now according to Bernoulli's equation, we have to write that equation for that 2 points, for point A and for point B, from where the liquid is given out. Now here I write here the atmospheric pressure, that is I write this equation for point A, that is atmospheric pressure plus half into rho into V1 square plus rho GH, that is the pressure of this column of liquid, equal to, again write down the same thing for the second point, P0, that is the atmospheric pressure plus half rho into, this is the velocity at point A. Now velocity at that point from where the fluid is coming out, that is the V2. So that's why instead of V1 you have to write V2. Now if we consider this is the point which is here at a particular height h, and we have to measure the height for this point from the same point. That's why height for this point is 0. So that's why no need to write this equation, that is rho GH for the second point, because height is 0 for the point B. So that's why I write here this is the equation written from the Bernoulli's equation, which we proved in previous video, that is P0 plus half rho into V1 square plus rho GH equal to, that is P0 plus half rho into V2 square. You can take here H1, that is the height for this point, and H2, height for the point B. And we have to measure the height from the B. That's why the height for B, that is equal to 0. Now here, cancel this atmospheric pressure, so that we can write half rho into V1 square plus rho GH equal to half rho into V2 square. Now in order to find the value of V1, use the second equation, that is equation of continuity. According to equation of continuity, we have the product of area of cross section and velocity that always remain constant, that is AB equal to constant. So use this formula for the two situations where the area of cross section is A1, velocity is V1, where the area of cross section is A2 and velocity is V2. Now from this I write the value of V1 as V1 equal to A2 by A1 into V2. Now put this value in equation 1. Put this value in equation 1. Here we have to put the value. So that's why I write here half rho in bracket the value of V1 as A2 by A1 into V2. I write here A2 by A1 into V2. We have to take the square. So that's why I write here bracket square. Plus rho GH equal to half rho into V2 square. Now again we have the rho common in every term. So we can cancel that rho. That is the density of liquid. So by cancelling that rho, we have half A2 by A1 square into V2 square as from this bracket square plus GH equal to half V2 square. Now if I transfer this term on right side, so I write here GH equal to, write down this term first, half V2 square. Now we are transferring this term, that's why it becomes negative. Half A2 by A1 square into V2 square. Now again we have half V2 square common. So by making half V2 square common, we can write 1 minus A2 by A1 whole square. Now what is our assumption? Here area of cross section at the top is very greater than the area of cross section at the place from where the liquid is given out. This is very small. That's why this ratio become very small. That's why we can neglect this ratio. So that's why I write here as A2 is very small than A1, neglecting this term. So just consider this 1 into this term. So I write here GH equal to half V2 square multiply by 2 twice GH equal to V2 square. Taking square root on both sides, that is V2 equal to under root of twice GH. So this is the equation we obtained. This is the velocity of the fluid which is coming out from a whole of very small area of cross section from particular height. So that is called as the speed of efflux. Now in order to remember that speed of efflux, you have to consider these two equations. That is according to Bernoulli's equation, we have to write down the first equation just by considering these 2 points, point A and point B. The difference between that 2 points is H. So write down here atmospheric pressure plus half rho into V1 square plus rho GH. Now height for this point is 0, so that's why no need to write this term for the point B. Then using mathematical rules, first of all you have to write down this equation. Then using the equation of continuity, find the value of V1, put the value of V1 in this equation, and again solving and simplifying, we have the last step, that is V2 equal to under root of twice GH. Now let us consider the second application of Bernoulli's equation or theorem, that is the Venturi tube, or which is also called as Venturi meter. Now here this is a tube through which again certain fluid, that is the liquid, flow. We have to consider the 2 parts of that tube. The first one where the tube has greater area of cross section, and again the tube has smaller area of cross section. Now we have to consider the 2 parts, that is first one is a wider part and second one is a narrower part, which is called as constricted part. Now this is the tube which is used to measure the speed of the flow of fluid in a tube where the tube is constricted. Here we have to find the speed of that fluid when that fluid flow through the constricted part of that tube. In first application, we determine the speed of the fluid through the small hole. Here now we have to consider the speed of the fluid when that fluid flows through the constricted part. So that's why I write the first point as it is the tube used to measure the speed of the fluid in a tube where the tube is constricted, where the tube is going to be narrow. As the fluid passes through the constricted part, what is our expectation? That is the velocity of that fluid goes on increasing, because we already here explained according to the equation of continuity, AB equal to constant. If I consider here AB equal to constant, from this equation, if the area reduces, then velocity increases. So that's why I write here the second point as the fluid passes through the constriction, its speed increases according to equation of continuity, that is AB equal to constant. Now consider the various physical quantities we write here, that is rho with the density of the fluid which is flowing through the tube. A1 with the area of cross section of this wider part, A2 with the area of cross section of this constricted part, then V1 with the velocity at this place A1, V2 with the velocity at this place A2, P1 and P2 with the respective pressure again at A1 and A2. Now again use the Bernoulli's equation, because we are discussing here the Bernoulli's application. So that's why you have to write the Bernoulli's equation for these two situations. Now as this tube is at same height, that's why there is no need to write this term in Bernoulli's equation, that is h rho g, because the height is same for both the points. That's why here we can't write h rho g. So you have to write here P1 plus half rho into V1 square equal to P2 plus half rho into P2 square. Now just by transferring these terms, we can write here P1 minus P2 equal to, now you have to write here half rho V2 square minus half rho V1 square. Again half rho is common, that's why I write here P1 minus P2 equal to half rho V2 square minus V1 square. Here we have to determine the speed of the fluid which is flowing through the narrow part. That narrow part is called as constricted part. Now how we have to measure that speed? Again by considering the two area of cross section. One is a larger and another is a smaller. You have to consider the 2 points at that two area of cross section, and you have to write the Bernoulli's equation for that 2 point. That is for the point in area of cross section A1 and for the point where area of cross section A2. Now no need to write the third term in Bernoulli's equation because this tube is at same height. So that's why I just write P1 plus half rho into V1 square equal to P2 plus half rho into V2 square. Just transfer the term, similar term on one side, pressure term on left side, and velocity term along with density on right side. We get first equation as P1 minus P2 equal to half rho in bracket V2 square minus V1. Now here you have to just put the value of P1 and P2 by considering the level difference in a capillary tube, which is here shown in that particular diagram. Now if we consider, that is H is the difference in height of a liquid level in capillary tube, we show the level difference. If H is the level difference, then we can have the pressure difference at that 2 point A1 and A2, that is the P1 minus P2 equal to H rho G. Now if we put this value in equation 1, then we have H rho G equal to half rho in bracket V2 square minus V1 square. Again cancelling this rho, I write here twice GH equal to V2 square minus V1 square. Again transfer this V1 square. So I write here V1 square plus twice GH equal to V2 square. And from that we can find the value of V2. That is under root of V1 square plus twice gh, that is equal to V2. Or you can use this formula also, that is V1 square plus twice gh equal to V2 square. So from this formula we can determine the speed of the flow of fluid which is passing through the constricted part. So that is the Venturi tube or Venturi meter. Now the third application of Bernoulli's equation, that is lifting of an aeroplane. How the aeroplane that will take off in the air, which is the particular cause. Now let us consider the shape of the wings of the aeroplane. Now here this one is a shape of the wings of aeroplane. Now how the shape of that wings of the aeroplane? Now it is a aerodynamic. The shape of the wings is aerodynamic. It means here from the upper surface its radius of curvature is greater, and from the lower surface its radius of curvature, that is a less. So that's why right here the first point, the shape of cross section of the wings of an aeroplane is as shown in figure. Now when the aeroplane run on a runway, due to this particular shape of the wings, which shape, that is the aerodynamic shape. Now the air flows on both sides of the wings, and different layers of the air form the streamlines. So that's why right here, when an aeroplane run on a runway, due to aerodynamic shape of the wings, streamline of air that are crowded. See the figure. Now whatever the different layers of air that moves on the upper surface of the wings, that are crowded, they are close to each other, while the different layers of air that are moving from lower end of the wings, they are certain far away from each other. So that's why right here the different layers of air which are moving on upper surface of the wings, they are crowded as compared to the below one. Now because of which the air above the wings that move faster, different layers of air that moves faster above that particular surface of the wings than the below surface of the wings. Now according to Bernoulli's equation, the pressure above the wings that decreases, this side pressure that decreases, on the other hand the pressure below the wings that increases. Now because of this streamline flow difference from the upper surface and from the lower surface of the wings, what is the things that get changed? The pressure difference causes. On the upper surface we have the lower pressure, on below surface we have the greater pressure. Due to this pressure difference, certain force that will act on the wings, on the complete aeroplane, that force is called as the dynamic lift. Now when this condition gets satisfied, when the dynamic lift, whatever the force exerted from lower side of the wings because of this air, now when this dynamic lift become greater than the weight of the aeroplane, then the aeroplane can easily take off in a air. So this is how we can say that why aeroplane can take off in a air. So because of this particular reason, because of the particular shape of the wings, that shape is aerodynamic. Because of that aerodynamic, what happen here? Whatever the different layers of air that is passing over the above surface of the wings, they form the crowded region, they move faster than the air which move from the lower end of the wings. Because of this difference in streamline flow, there is a pressure difference occur. Pressure on upper surface of the wings, that is less, that decreases than the pressure below the wings. So because of this pressure difference, particular force act on that wings, and that force is called as the upward force or upward lift. Now when that upward lift or dynamic lift is greater than weight of the aeroplane, so weight of the aeroplane act in downward direction, and this upward lift, as the word itself indicates its direction, the upward lift. So when this upward lift is greater than the weight, then only that aeroplane can take off in a air. Now let us consider the fourth application, that is the working of atomizer. So this atomizer we use in our daily life also with the different names. So just like this is a perfume sprayer, where we use this principle, that is working of a atomizer. Now we can also use this atomizer just to clean our valuable devices like TV, fridge. So this is the bottle of cooling. We can also use as a sprayer. Now what is the principle? What is the theory that is used in that atomizer? So these are the simple diagrams which we can draw under the head of working of atomizer. Now in every sprayer or atomizer there is one tank in which liquid is taken. Now in that tank, particular liquid which we have to spray, that liquid is filled. Now in that tank there is a smaller tube which is deep in that particular fluid, and to that tube we have to again consider one horizontal tube with the help of which we create here the pressure by exerting force on particular part of that atomizer. Now here in first figure, this is the part of the rubber which we press it, then it causes the force because of which the air rushes out, the air that will be moved from that part, and the liquid from the tank that will be rises up, and that liquid is then spread out in the form of large number of droplets. Now consider the figure which is given in our textbook, that is here this is the cylinder having particular piston. This is the piston. Now when this piston is moved and here certain force is applied on that piston. Now because of this air pressure, again whatever the tube which is provided in that liquid tank, the liquid rises up through that tank because of the low pressure creating this tube, and that liquid then rises up and that will be blown up in the form of number of droplets similar to that of here. This one is considered as a liquid tank. This is the tube which is here we dip in that tank, and we consider this one is the part from which we apply the pressure, and this one is a nozzle through which that fluid that is given out. So when we apply the pressure on that particular part of the atomizer, then what happens? The liquid from that small tube that will rises up because of the pressure difference, and that's why this liquid that will be sprayed up. Similar function that will be done in a scent spray. When we press this part of the spray, that is the upper part, whatever the scent that is present in that bottle, and in that bottle there is a small tube which is deep inside. When we press it, then that scent that will be spray out. So similar things that are also used in a different devices. that is the action of carburetor which is used in our automobile engine, paint gun, scent spray, insect spray. These are all the atomizers based on the Bernoulli's principle. Now in all these devices we have just a tube in which liquid is taken. In that tube here there is another smaller tube, that is where the air is blown at that particular part. So here this is the part from where the air blows, this is the part from where the air blows. So that's why right here the point, air is blown at a high speed over the tip of that tube which is filled in a liquid. Now because of this high speed air, it creates the low pressure inside this tube. Now because of which the liquid rises up, that liquid come here and that liquid is then blown off in the form of many droplets. So that's why right here this speed, high speed air create the low pressure over the tube, due to which that liquid rises up and it is then blown off in a very small droplets. So this is the simple application of working of atomizer, which is made up of liquid tank along with this tube and one part of that atomizer from where we have to apply the force just to produce the air with a high pressure. When any part of that atomizer that get pressed by applying certain force, then here the air that blows with a high pressure that create the low pressure in a tube which is filled in that liquid. That liquid rises up and that liquid then move fastly with the air and that get blown off in the form of small droplets. So this is how we discuss here the all application of the Bernoulli's equation. The first one is a speed efflux, second one is a venturimeter, then third one that is the aerodynamic shape of the wings of aeroplane, and fourth one that is working of a atomizer. So this complete the second part of this chapter, that is the hydrodynamics.